Good morning, sunshine. Today is the 13th of October, and if you're watching this, you're probably wondering why I am not in the GoJo7 News studio. Well, I'm on a special investigative reporting assignment in the Caribbean. We're looking at the U.S. Department of War's new Counter-Narcotics Joint Task Force in the Caribbean Sea. I'm especially most concerned about the illegal smuggling of this drug. Looks familiar? Everyone's favorite fruit, mangoes. My name is Jojo with the GoJo7 News. As you can see, always on the go, always working for you. The World News Report is designed for Americans who think they're the center of the universe. Well, I am the center of the universe. But some Americans, like myself, want to learn more about international politics of other countries around the world. If that's something you're interested in, follow my channel for more international news, travel vlogs, and cultural commentary. A ceasefire has been declared in Gaza. Palestinians celebrated by chanting and dancing in the streets. The Isn't Real military celebrated by sending fireworks, into Lebanon, just hours after the ceasefire was announced. There's reports that a UN peacekeeper was harmed in the second strike that hit the city of Kafir in southern Lebanon. But celebrations are accompanied by fear, as the same conditions that led to the genocide remain present. Israel is still in control of major checkpoints in and out of the Gaza Strip. But at least this clears way for that beautiful beachfront property that Donald Trump and his special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, are working on. The New York Times reported that Steve Witkoff's son is running the real estate company to make deals with investors in Qatar and other countries in the Middle East, selling off parts of the Gaza Strip. Now it's time for our musical break, brought to you by someone driving down the street with their speakers really, really loud. Ghana has successfully registered kente cloth as a geographical indication product. You know how champagne can only be made in Champagne, France? Well, from now on, it cannot be called kente cloth if it did not originate from Ghana. This means that all that African print on Amazon can't be called kente cloth. This also means that U.S. Congress members are going to have to show us some receipts the next time they want to cosplay as allies. Big news from Nigeria.
Breaking news.
Mark Zuckerberg's company Meta is set to pay $32.8 million in a data privacy settlement with the government of Nigeria. In addition to the money, Meta must revise its privacy policy, conduct a data protection impact assessment, and seek prior approval before transferring user data outside of the country of Nigeria. Madagascar is still cutting up in these protest streets after President Rasuena has repeatedly refused to step down. Now, the soldiers have joined the protest movement. President Rasuena is worried that a military coup is on the way. Protests in Madagascar erupted a few weeks ago over the country's lack of clean water and access to electricity. Since then, at least 22 people have died in the protests. So there's a few reasons why protests do not like President Rasuena and why they're asking him to step down. Firstly, he very quietly acquired French citizenship.
That's suspicious.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's weird.
This is his second term as president, so a lot of people were expecting a much better improvement. And lastly, President Rasuena is a Gemini. So in Mexico, there's a growing group of indigenous women purchasing chinampas. Chinampas are the floating farms that the Aztecs built thousands of years ago. The women are using the chinampas to cultivate sustainable agriculture and protect vital ecosystems in the regions surrounding Mexico City. Peru's Congress has officially impeached President Dino Boluarte and sworn in Congressman Jose Yeri as president. Dino Boluarte was sworn in as president after the indigenous activist turned president Pedro Castillo, was impeached on corruption accusations in late 2022. Dina Boluarte's approval ratings is some of the lowest in the world for a sitting president, with just 3% of the population approving of her presidency. In December of 2022, after Pedro Castillo was impeached, indigenous Peruvians marched, protested, and even rioted against the government that they felt were being racist towards indigenous communities in Peru's hinterlands. After Boluarte was sworn in as president, she immediately formed a right-wing coalition. And she took an authoritarian stance to the protests, sending police and armed forces into the streets. During these protests, more than 60 people were killed, including 2 children. This kind of increased militarization earned President Dina Boluarte the nickname Asesina. The Spanish language newspaper El País has reported that Peru's new president has faced accusations of corruption, abuse of power, disobedience for authority, and even a rape complaint. He is Peru's 8th president in less than a decade. But the good news is, Peru's next elections are scheduled for 2026. Singer-songwriter Taylor Swift is known for her impeccable songwriting abilities, but fans felt that this latest album lacked relatability. Fans have even accused her of using AI in the visuals for her album. I personally think this album sounds like ChatGPT wrote it. But I digress. We have some good news this week coming out of Guyana. 3 indigenous villages, including the Shea, Morawano, and Arorano, created the Deep South Giant Armadillo Conservation Area to protect over 300,000 acres of forest and savanna, and of course to protect the giant armadillo and thousands of other species in the area. So that's what happened in these international streets last week. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more news, travel vlogs, and cultural commentary. And remember, no one is free until everybody's free. If you'd like to learn more about the protests that happened in Peru in 2022, I did a video about it on my channel, so check that out. My name is Jojo with the GoJo7 News, always on the go, always working for you. Good night, everyone.